Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Hancock Park Market Update. It is Tuesday, March 2nd, and we're going to go through the current listings, most recent listings, sales, and pendings for Hancock Park area. And I'm starting off here with the current actives. Last week, does anybody remember how many actives we had? I'm sorry, 2 weeks ago. We had 62 actives, which was, at least during the COVID period and probably before, historically low for a long time. And here we are today, not with more listings, but fewer listings. We're at 57, and that is for all of Hancock Park, including what the MLS calls Hancock Park. Somebody, if you could please put on mute so that we don't have the background noise. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
I'm
man.
going to look here just at the listings sort of above Olympic and, generally west of Wilton over to La Brea. And when I look at that number, it's actually 42. Now, 42 listings when back in December and let's say actually November of 2020, we had almost 100 active listings. So this is, exactly what everybody's talking about, proof in the pudding that we have very few listings, meaning, we as agents are more competitive with each other and our buyers have fewer homes to buy. Now I'm going to look here at, of these listings that are for sale in the traditionally Hancock Park area, I'm going to look here at the houses that are below about 3 million. That's generally one category, and there are only 15 available. And between 3 and let's say 5, there's really only 10 more. And then when we get up to 6s, we have 12, 13, 14 above 6 million. And we have not seen those flying off the shelf. So our inventory of properties that are traditionally going to sell quickly, at least in the past year, are, we're down to like 20 that are, sort of flying off the shelf. 20 listings when, the bulk of everything was at almost 100 last year. So this is a big deal. This is I hope that this turns around, because this is not going to keep everybody moving. And this means that, not everybody, not all the buyers out there, regardless of how much money they have and how much money they can get saying to lend them, they don't get a house, period. There's not enough houses for everybody. It's not a right to get a house. It is competition. And we are in a dire scenario here with very, very few listings. We need to take this seriously. All right, so when I look at that, let me go back here and look at the current listings that have gone in the past 2 weeks since our last meeting. Let's say since February 15th. New listings. Come on now. Okay. So we have about 6 listings within that traditional area, and then we have about 6 more listings in the outskirts, which are east of Wilton, south of Olympic type of area. So the truth of it is that, in the area that we tend to cover in the traditional part, we're only about 6 listings. But let's look at these listings. Well, before we do that, let's just look for fun at the current pendings. Those are the houses that are currently in escrow. We have 44. So that's a change, because we used to have fewer. I believe we got all the way down to somewhere in the 20s. So that is good news. We do have listings going in the escrow. I will say the south of Wilshire, there are a great many of them, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 out of those 44, leaving us with about 32 that are currently in escrow. And then if I look at the sold in the past 2 weeks, and if you guys have your volume on, please turn it off unless you have something to say. The sales in the last 2 weeks have been 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them being in the outskirts in the outlying area. So 2, 4, 6, only 6 in 2 weeks. So that means that, you know, if you're looking at the traditional area, less than one house selling every 2 to 3 days. And when it comes to the bigger market, we've had one sale every day. All right. So let's go back and look at the currently active and the most recent listings. That's the last 2 weeks. Okay, 14 new listings. Let's look at those. And we have some I can see here that have been on the market in the past. I can, you know, the top one, 184 South Hudson, was on the market before. 105 North Rossmore for 12.375 was on the market before. These are not new listings. These are relistings. 440 South Arden, that was on the market before. So I could go through this list, but these are not necessarily brand new. These are listings that didn't get sold first time around, trying again with or without a new agent. Again, I can hear someone speaking. If you could please turn off your phones and everything else while we're on this call so we can all enjoy it. Agent detail, agent short. Here we go.
It's Janine. Janine.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out why it's on. It's not coming on. Okay, thank you.
184 South Hudson, 14.9 million. This was listed before by Tim Enright, currently listed by Frederick Eklund and Carrie Lewis. Frederick is one of those reality stars focusing on TV, and listed for $14,995. I believe that it was listed around that price before. So we haven't really had a lot of $14,995 sales, so I wish him luck. I sure wish that we would have more sales like that, but it requires a specific type of buyer. 105 North Rossmore, relisted, was listed before by Ernie Carswell. It's still with Ernie Carswell. Looks like they flipped the listing agents to start it over again. That's 12.375, a beautiful property located right on the golf course, but it is on Rossmore on the backside, so that's not necessarily the most attractive thing and typically harder to sell when you're on a big street. 440 South Arden was listed prior by our office, was relisted by another agent in our office. No, I'm sorry, unfortunately listed by someone else, Diana Knox. 440 South Arden for $6,595. That was on the market with Lisa for a while. We've seen that one. 96 Fremont Place in Fremont Place, listed by our office, James Song and June Lee. 5 beds, 3 baths, 4,000 square feet. That's $11.79 a square foot with a 14,000 plus lot. This community is gated, so they do have an HOA, which is $400 monthly. Not bad for a $5 million property. Anybody seen this one? I'm just going to quickly go through some photos here of Fremont Place, a very special area that is gated and with historic mansions like in Hancock Park. Just can't get in there. Looks like it was not staged, which, you know, don't recommend that, especially when you're going for high prices. But who knows what was going on there. $11.79 a square foot is not crazy. It does look like it's on the smaller side. I mean, on the closer side of Olympic. Is it right there on Olympic? Yeah, it's the house that's closest to Olympic. So that's not great because you're going to have that Olympic traffic. And I know from experience that there is quite a bit of noise coming off of Olympic. So let's see, maybe they have fountains or something to hide the noise.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Zale, can you hear me? Zale? Somebody is in the office. If you could please mute yourself, that would be great. Okay, let's go back to the agent detail. So that one there in Fremont Place is the last house. It is the corner house, which means that it's going to be probably the loudest of the area. Thank you for turning that off. 330 South Irving. This is also listed before, currently with Lisa. We've seen this one of my very favorite houses. Just beautiful. Irving is a nice street. Look at that house. That just really.
It's in escrow.
Already in escrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that probably hurts.
No, it doesn't. It's an exclusion.
Okay. Oh, okay. Beautiful. Look at the doorknob. Just love it. Love it. Craftsmanship at its best. You know, interesting anecdote. We had the Roaring 20s when all these houses were built, and then the Depression came, and all those craftsmen that were imported from Italy and here and there, and people who were brought up in the late 1800s and early 1900s with a craftsman mentality, really quality workers, those guys all sort of lost their jobs. There wasn't any construction for almost 10 plus years. War then happened, 1940s. And, by the time it all came back and the market was back, those craftsmen, they didn't teach apprentices. The craftsmen were gone. And by the 1950s, when things started taking off again, what we have. We have little, boxes with no unique character all over the city of Los Angeles. That's because we lost those craftsmen. A huge loss, in my opinion. I really love these old houses, and they can't make them anymore. We don't have the skills to make these old houses anymore unless we're paying huge numbers that the average person can't afford. 1201 St. Andrews, 5 beds, 5 baths, 3,500 square feet, 16,000 square foot lot. This is a big lot on St. Andrews, which is sort of in the country. I think it's the country club area, and 2.695. Let's take a look at this just for fun with a 16,000 square foot lot. That is a big lot. If I've seen this, I kind of feel like we saw. No, I haven't seen this before. Look at that. So 2.7 million, get you 3,400 square feet with a lot. Look at that house. Look at the ceiling.
It's an Elmer Gray design. To your last point, Elmer Gray was sensational.
Wow, look at that. Thank you, Ann. Anything else you know about Elmer Gray? Beautiful, completely redone. Boy, they put some money into this. Looks like they tried to preserve the character. Giant house. I want to look at this on the map. This is the guest house. Look at that backyard. Looks like it's begging for a pool. Beautifully done. Wow, look at that. All right, I like this house. I like the price for what you get. I'm gonna just pull up the map, see if it's located. It is off a Country Club Drive, and so it's on the corner there. I believe that means that it is generally a bit on a hill, so part of it is not going to be flat.
It's a really nice part of the neighborhood.
Yeah, beautiful. Okay, let's go back. I want to go see this one. All right, go back. It's loading. Here we go. 105 North Crossbow, just discussed that one. That one was on the market before. Tough sale. If you recall, it was on the market. I think it was one of our agents a few years ago for $5 million. Somebody bought it, fixed it up, really put a lot of work into it. My God, they have ceilings that are at least 25 feet high, incredible, and just an entertainers like at the highest level of society type of property. Really beautiful. 440 South Arden was listed before. What are we doing here? Back. 138 North Wilton, busy street, 4 beds, 4 baths, 3,200 square feet, small lot, 6,600. That's 689 a square foot at 2,235,000. Let's see. Absolutely stunning 1920 colonial style with guest house, listed by Josephine de Varenne Sotheby's. And let's take a look at the house. Colonial style, according to her. Looks like it's got some nice privacy. Only a 6,600 square foot lot. Big house as far as the size of the lot versus the house. 3,200 versus 6,600. Nice floors, obviously redone. Not staged. Looks like the owner's interiors. And if you can mute yourself, I think that's Ann in the driving. Thank you so much.
Sorry.
No
Sorry,
problem.
I gotta go.
Here's the backyard with a pool and a guest house and some toys, big toy. Look at the back porch there. That's like an old, Southern style porch. Get yourself some sweet tea. And this is the back house. Looks like it has a music studio. That's a nice looking house. Remember though that it is on Wilton. 156 South Arden. And again, anybody who has seen any of these houses, please speak up right away. 3 beds, 2 baths, 1,859 square feet on a 7,000 lot. Again, this is Arden, north of Beverly. So it's Larchmont Village. Arden can be a very busy street right there. And it's listed for just under $2 million, 1,999. That's just over $1,000 a square foot, listed by Lisa Hutchins. Let's take a look at it. 1,859 square feet. So, not huge, but still big enough for a young family by far, or anybody, obviously. Interesting colors on the cabinets there, but I like it. Again, the new style. We've gone from, the beanstalk white type of staging to very much a lot of colors going on for interior design. I mean, what color wasn't there? Red, black, brown, white, blue, green. I mean, every color is represented in this house. Let's see, pool and a little guest house type of property there. Very compact. Oh, what's that? Looks like a stairway. That must be from the back of the house. It's sort of hillside, I guess. This is 156, so it's on the east side of Arden. I would imagine that's going to go pretty quick, simply by virtue of its price and lack of inventory. Okay, 516 North Mansfield. This is in Hancock Park adjacent, listed by Jennifer Eckert, Normand and Associates. 3 beds, 3 baths, 2,000 square feet on a 4,800 lot. So tiny lot, 1,789,000. That's 877 a square foot, which is very reasonable for that neighborhood. Mansfield is a decently nice street, very close to Melrose, but not too close. Or is it 516 North? I'm going to say, yeah, that's not too close to Melrose. Take a look at these photos. Looks like it's either been staged or designed nicely. Look at that. That's very beautiful. Yeah, that's got to be staged. 1,789. I would imagine that's going to fly off the shelf at 2,000 square feet on Mansfield. We've had listings sell there that aren't anywhere near this condition, sell for a 1.8 or more. So this may even be low priced, but anybody seen it?
What's the lot size? I think it's a very small lot size.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's right. Good point, Cecile. 4,800 square feet, very small lot. 433 South Wilton. Again, another listing on Wilton. 6 beds, 4 baths, 2,800 square feet with 6,600 lot. That's $567 a square foot at $1,599, listed by Spencer Payson of Compass. Again, this is going to be in south of 3rd, north of 6th on Wilton. And this is going to be, so it's north of 6th. So it's in a nice little pocket there, but very busy. Let's take a look at it. Staged, newly remodeled. I'm seeing a lot of these backsplashes now. If you notice that backsplash there, very, I don't know what you call that.
Dramatic.
It's a lot going on, that's for sure, with that backsplash. Also looks like they used the same tile for the bathroom floor. Again, 2,800 square feet for 1.599. You're not going to beat that. You're going to be on a busy street if you're doing that, but that seems reasonable considering the lack of inventory. Next, we have 1029 Arlington Avenue. This is south of Olympic, not really in our area. Country Club Park, 5 beds, 4 baths, 2,200 square feet. Large enough lot, 7,400, with a price of 1.35. That's on under $600 a square foot, listed by Martin Gonzalez of Realty Execs. And that's a, you know, that's a break-in price right there for your budget conscious buyer. 2 stories for $1,350,000. Very nice looking historic house with at least on either side of it other historic homes. So looks cute. Now it looks like it's on Arlington. Now Arlington, does that become, at some point Arlington becomes Wilton? No, it's going to be busy right there. That is going to be right on Arlington coming up from the highway. Not the best location, but a beautiful house. So that explains the price there. Let's go back. $1,350,000 on that. There we go. Really cute, $1,350,000, but right on Arlington. 1269 South Muirfield. This is just north of Pico. So I would not consider this part of Hancock Park traditionally. 4 beds, 3 baths, 1,300 square feet on a small 4,900 square foot lot. That's $963 a square foot at just under $1.3 million. That's a lot of money for that location. You're right off of Pico and Venice and San Vicente, and all those busy streets are really close. You are close to the Midtown Plaza area, so you can, you know, get easily to shopping. That's a plus. Very small lot, $1.3 million. Tori Horowitz is the agent at Compass. 2 more listings and we're done. On the active side, 5130 Melrose, another busy street. I'm going to say, you know, these new listings, they're either, a lot of them are either relistings or they're all coming on in marginal locations. I mean, almost all of them, whether it's a busy version of Arden, whether it's Arlington, whether it's Wilton, you know, whether it's right off of Olympic in Fremont Place. These are all on busy streets, and that's not great. 3 beds, 4 baths, 1,800 square feet, only 3,000 square foot lots. So I'm guessing we're talking about a townhouse. You know, townhouses are going to list right at $1 million. And then 119 North Manhattan Place. This is also going to be a new townhouse, just over $1 million. If you're looking for a townhouse, you can get them almost anywhere for just over $1 million. All right, let's go back to the recently sold single family homes. in the last 2 weeks. All right, 14 sales in the last 2 weeks. Of those, 2, 4, 6 of them are in the outskirts of Hancock Park, not traditional. Let's take a look. And I'm going to start with the highest to the lowest. Let's try this. Okay, 141 South Las Palmas, listed by, hold on. Ah. I'm going to do that again. Here we go. Okay, let's try this again. 141 South Las Palmas. Sold for $6 million, waiting for it to pop up here. Okay, 5 beds, 6 baths, 5,200 square feet, 13,786 lot. That's $11.53 a square foot at $6 million. 141 South Las Palmas is in a wonderful location between Beverly and 3rd. In the middle there, Las Palmas is close enough to get to Temple on La Brea, so you've got a larger pool of buyers than maybe even a couple of streets over, so that is helpful in selling. The agent was Daphne Milstein, Greg Silver of Keller Williams. The Altman brothers represented the buyer. And let's see here. Let's take a look at it. So not too terribly dramatic from the front, but I expect the interior to be pretty nice. Yep. Keep in mind, this is $6 million. So we have 12 or 15 of those 57 listings currently active that are over $6 million. So this over $6 million category is not flying off the shelf like everything under $3 and $4 million is. So this is, you know, let's see how, I don't think we've had any other sales in that price range. Let's see, the next biggest sale is only 2.8 million. So there you have it. You've got, if you're selling one of these houses a month or two of these larger houses, you've got, I don't know, at least 6 months to a year supply of those houses. Here's a house at 137 South Larchmont, listed by Pete Bonacore. That's been coming soon for a long time, on the market for 143 days, 4 beds, 4 baths. $2.8 million, a 6,500 square foot lot with a 4,000 square foot house. That's $692 a square foot. That's generally, you know, what you can expect right on Larchmont. I think Larchmont as a busy street is the best possible busy street you can get. At least you can get to Larchmont quick and easy, and it's not a through street, so it's not going to be racing traffic. Lots of stop signs. So if you're going to have a busy street, Larchmont's a good one, in my opinion. Here's the interior. They've got the new floors that I'm not necessarily in love with, but maybe you guys are. It just feels like the distressed look. If you're going to need the distressed look, use real distressed wood. Otherwise, use something else. But obviously, someone liked it very much. 2.8 million is a pretty big number for that part of for Larchmont. Granted, it's a nice house, and it's got 2 stories in the back. There you go. Very cute exterior, lots of character. Next, 525 North Highland. So we know that, I mean, we're seeing here 2.35 up until COVID, you weren't really breaking 2 million very often. So, that's now we're seeing over 2 million, just between 2 and 2.5 regularly. So that is a clear indication of about a 10 to 15% increase in values since COVID on Highland. Jonathan Wisman, of the agency, was the listing agent and the selling agent. 6 beds, 7 baths, 4,000 square feet, 7,000 lot. That's $582 a square foot at $2,350,000.
I think he owns it also, I suspect.
Oh, is that right?
I suspect.
Did he represent himself?
I don't know.
Did he buy it? Like he listed it and then ultimately buy it?
No, I think he lived in it, I think.
Oh,
Because I believe he was a very old client of mine, never bought anything, and then eventually bought and went into the business, fixed up. He buys and fixes up, I believe, because I've seen him a name around,
clearly, whoever, this is obviously, look at that bathroom. That is not a staged bathroom.
No. But he's bought house, but I think he lived in this house.
Okay.
That's what I suspect, and it'll show the title on the title.
Yeah. Well,
I think I looked at it once.
I won't be able to see who owns it, but who bought it, but I will be able to see who did own it. Yes, he did own it. That's right.
Yeah. For how many years does it say that he owned it? Does it say when he bought it? I think it's at least 7 or something, maybe more.
He bought it for $1,050,000 in 2009.
Okay.
Which was a tough time, if you guys recall. 2009 was a tough time to get a loan, for example. Let's go back. Okay. All right. And Cecilia, if you could mute yourself, that would be great. 221 St. Andrews Place. This is outskirts again, but looks like a pretty significant property considering the price of 2.5 million plus. 3 bedrooms, 4 baths, 2,700 square feet, almost a 10,000 square foot lot. That's $933 a square foot. North of 3rd, east of Wilton. Cute. I think it's a fairly cute neighborhood. It's certainly a cute house. Robert Calick of Compass was the agent, and this has got this Asian craftsman look to it. You've got the corners of the exterior roof kind of with a small upward angle, like in an Asian type of style, and then got the craftsman look. It's really cute. Here it's got a Korean yin and yang on the front door, so maybe that has something. 221 St. Andrews Place, craftsman style, Arthur Heinemann, architect, built 1912. So that's one of the earlier houses. Look at that. Staged beautifully. So a lot of character. Look at that table with the horn legs, ram horn legs. So somebody really liked this house at 2.5 million. Again, so many colors in staging now, almost overkill. Here's the back house. Smallish yard, but looks like lots of detail. This is nice. This is one I'd want to walk through. Okay. 221 St. Andrews Place. All right. Next, we have 107 Citrus Avenue. This is Hancock Park adjacent, 3 beds, 4 baths, 2,000 square feet on a standard 6,700 lot. Got $2,350,000. That's $1,150 plus dollars per square foot. That's a pretty big number, and it might be right off of First, which is not a terrible street to be off of. Basia was the agent. Let's see. I think it's the second house in. Might be the second house in from First, which is not a big deal because First is pretty quiet. 2.5 million is a pretty darn good price. Let's see what the house looks like. At $1,153 a square, $1,157 a square foot. That's a big number over in that neighborhood. Let's take a look. 107 South Citrus. It's got a Spanish style. Lots of mature growth. Historic floors. Well designed in staging. Everything looks pretty new. Wouldn't be surprised if this is a flip. I believe we've looked at this one before, obviously when it was on the market. $2,350,000, $1,150 a square foot. All right, 861 Fifth. This is east of Crenshaw, south of 8th. So Country Club, Wilshire Park, 3 beds, 4 baths, 3,800 square feet, 11,000 lots. So it's got a nice lot, $523 a square foot. So that's a nice low number, paying $2 million, however, listed by Chewy Jang of Realty One Group. Let's take a look at this. This is $2 million in the Country Club / Wilshire Park neighborhood, east of Crenshaw, south of Wilshire, north of Olympic. So if it's north of Olympic, I'm guessing it's not Country Club, it's Wilshire Park. That's the right name for it, right, guys? Wilshire Park, not Wilshire Vista. Wilshire Square.
Wilshire Center.
I haven't heard that name yet. You know, I know the agents who have been here or grew up here, it used to not be called Larchmont Village north of Beverly. It was Larchmont Heights, right? And that's what's on the permits and stuff. But I don't hear anybody say Larchmont Heights anymore. And I don't really see any heights. I walk up and down those streets. It's not high in the air compared to south of Beverly. Maybe that's why they don't call it that anymore. Okay, this is on 5th, so kind of out of our area, but $2 million is not a small price. Chewy Jang was the realtor. 608 North Mansfield, so this is just a block north of the other one we looked at that had the really small lot that was asking, or that got one that was asking in the 1.7s. This is a block north on the 600 block just south of Melrose in Hancock Park adjacent. 3 bed, 2 bath, 6,000 lots. So bigger lot, $2,300,000, listed by Jenna Cooper. So we can expect some pretty good design here. She tends to have a good eye. This sold for $2.3 million, and I can see why. With I'm not sure what the square footage is. I'll have to look at that because it's not being disclosed. That's a pretty room right there. Nice picture. Let's see. Square footage. Let's see if we can dig that up. Lot area 6,000 and square foot 1,730. So at 1,730, that's going to be, let's just say that that's correct. That means that they paid $2,300,000 divided by 1,730. That's $1,329 a square foot. You know, if anybody was gonna get that, you know, I don't know why she doesn't put the square footage in there, because obviously people want to know that, but I guess they don't want to talk about that because maybe there's more to it. that they can't disclose. They just want to talk about it on the phone. 832 South Plymouth, 5-bed, 6-bath, 4,400 square feet with nearly 9,000 lots, so plenty of lot. $447 a square foot. That's just south of Wilshire in the Windsor Village neighborhood for just under $2 million, and 1982. Stacy Babbitt was the agent, and let's take a look at the house. Plymouth is a decent street right there. Oh, it's a brick. It's kind of hidden away. Floors could use some work. Kitchen tiles could use some work, but it needs flooring upstairs. It's an old carpet, but generally speaking, move-in ready. Again, 4,400 square feet. That's a lot of house for $2 million. And it looks like that's not including the garage. English Tudor, Windsor Village, HPOZ. That's a lot of house for $2 million. All right, 152 North Highland, back on Highland, another busy street. Got under $2 million this time. 3-bed, 3-bath, 2,300 square feet, 9,400 lot. That's $775 a square foot. You can expect that on Highland. Valerie Schneider was the agent. I don't think there's a lot of, okay, we've got photos here. This one was on and off, if I remember correctly. Not in good shape. I mean, obviously it needs to be worked on. New kitchen and so on. I wonder what it looks like when it's done, when it's empty. Probably would do better to empty it out than to have it look like that. That might have impacted the price of $1,850,000. Here we have 6930 Clinton. This is a townhouse, 2 townhouses, 1 on each side, 3-bed, 4-bath. The location is on Clinton, south of Melrose, and I believe this is going to be in Hancock Park adjacent. Yes, it is. And remember, look at that lot size, 1,840 square feet, or 50 square feet. You got $1,515,000. So this is all about the property, not about the land. Grant Linscott was the agent. And then we have another one of those, I believe. Is that right? Yeah, 6926 also sold. Another one of these townhouses. Looks like it's something like 4 on a lot, 2 on each side. $1,470,000. That's $678 a square foot. You can get to La Brea very easily. Grant Linscott was the agent. Here we are at 920 South Lucerne. This is also in the Windsor Village neighborhood, right near the little park. I think it's Benny Potter Park, or it's the other one. But a cute little park surrounded by lots of historic homes. I really like that park for my kids. 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,500 square feet, 6,000 square foot lot. That's $895 a square foot for $1,376,000. That is expected. Jackie Smith expected at $1,376,000 in that location. Is pretty darn good. You can get to the park. I will say that a lot of people are cutting through that neighborhood, and when they do, they usually use Lucerne. So a lot of traffic in the front of the house, but the house itself looks really nice. Looks like some historic tile that hasn't been changed in 100 years. Yeah, they've preserved the tile throughout the house. Again, 1,500 square feet for $1,376,000. That seems like a pretty good buy to me. That was on the market 6 days. Not a lot of days on market. Somebody snapped that right up. Here we have 1174 South Victoria, and this is not in good shape. Sold for $1.3 million. Elsa Rios was the agent of Beltran, and 5 beds, 3 baths, 2,700 square feet, 8,500 lot. That's $465 a square foot at 1.3 south of Olympic, north of Pico. You know, it's surrounded by other historic homes, but I believe this house needed a lot of work. So 1.3 is just the beginning. Look at that kitchen. Move-in ready, right, folks? Somebody walked in and fell right in love. This house hasn't seen a carpenter or remodeler in a long time. So I wouldn't be surprised. You know, this is the kind of house that not your average home buyer is going to buy, but a flipper type of person. So we might see this back on the market. There's probably scared off buyers. There's too much to do. 423.5 Wilton is townhouse, $1,190,000. That's what they go for roughly. And that was listed by Courtney Packard of Compass. So that's the end of the sales in the past 2 weeks, basically one a day, but if you look at the ones in traditional Hancock Park, you're looking at less than one a day. I'm sorry, less than one every 2 days as far as sales go. Remember that back in the day, we were having 2 and 3 sales a day. That was COVID. Now I'm going to look at the pendings and see which ones have gone pending in the last 2 weeks. And then we can discuss where the market is. Summarize. So these are there have been 16, so we have 44 in escrow at this time with only 57 available. I mean, when do you see that? Almost as many escrows as active. That, my friends, is a seller's market. And a lot of those listings, as we saw, are in marginal lots that are very close to busy streets, which is not typically what a home buyer wants. So let's look at these houses, and the first ones I want to look at are the ones that are under contract versus pending, because pending means that they've already gone into escrow and they're just looking at they've removed contingencies. So really we have 10 that look like they have gone into escrow in the last 14 days. Let's take a look at them. Okay, 355 South Rimpaw. Here's a big daddy, 6 beds, 8 baths, 8,000 square feet on Rimpaw, south of 3rd, north of Wilshire. So that part of Rimpaw is a cut-through street. I think the north part of that south of 3rd area is more attractive than the south part off of Wilshire. But still, it's an intersection street with a signal, so it's pretty busy. So you're typically going to get somebody who wants to be in their backyard. Danelle Lavin of Compass was the agent. 355 South Rimpaw. That's 31,000 square foot with a $1,500 square foot, dollar per square foot price tag, and it's in escrow. 12.5 million. I believe this is like a French, renovated chateau. Anybody see this?
You know what? It's not so busy because don't forget, Rimpaw doesn't go north of 3rd. It goes into north of 3rd is a cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
So I don't think that Rimpaw is so busy.
But if you go, I agree. I mean, it's not like Rossmore.
No.
So if you're looking at the inner streets between Rossmore and, let's say, Highland, south of 3rd, Rimpaw is by far the busiest one.
From beside Highland?
Muirfield, Hudson, Rimpaw, June, Las Palmas, and McAdden. Rimpaw is going to be the only one that has that signal like that. So, I mean, to each their own. Beautiful. Yeah. This. Wow. So this is Architectural Digest. Beautiful. I love me some French chateau. Just makes it feel elegant. Look at that bathtub there. Okay. And that is in escrow, asking 12.5 with Danelle Lavin as the agent, Aaron Kerman as the backup agent. 326 South Windsor. This is another big one, so that's good. In the last 2 weeks, we've had some big ones. 5 beds, 9 baths, another 8,000 square feet. This one is at 18,000 square foot lot, so about 13. It's about half of the other one with the same size house. That's at $12.40 a square foot, just under $10 million. 326 South Windsor is in Windsor Square, and it is in a decent location, not too close to 3rd. David Parnes, the agency. This looks like the one, I believe this is the one that Tim Enright sold a few years ago. Yeah. And at that time, it sold around $8 million. So it's gone up in price. I can't imagine they did a whole lot more. They did so much. Look at that stairway, my goodness. Cathedral ceilings, vaulted ceilings, lots of closet. 8,000 square feet, you got yourself a movie theater. Boy, move into this house and you don't need to leave. You could just sit out the whole COVID. I want to just look. Is this the one Tim Enright sold? Yeah, back in 2014. This was I'm sure, well, what's the name of the, Brian Little? Is that the name of the architect? The local guy? He did it and then Tim sold it. So looks like they got into escrow. Let's see here. 175 days on market. So it took them a little while. I really like Windsor. One issue with Windsor, I don't know if you guys noticed that I mentioned it in the past, but because you can see the Hollywood sign, it has become a huge street for influencers to come and take professional photos. Drive up and down Windsor, especially south of 3rd, you're going to see people taking photos pretty much all day long. And so privacy is being, it's being hurt by this. And I doubt that that's ever going to change. That's probably a permanent change that because of the way social media is going. You're going to always have people walking up and down that street, tourists and influencers coming for that view of the Hollywood sign. Sally Forster Jones was the agent on this one at 238 Lorraine Boulevard, one of my favorite streets. This is north of 3rd. It's not a cut-through street, so it's very private. 5 beds, 3 baths, 4,000 square feet, 11,000 lot. That's over $1,000 a square foot at just over $4 million. That was on the market 25 days, and I can see why. It's a great street. $4 million gets you almost 4,000 square feet. Probably in great shape. Yeah. Very nice. Got your yoga mats. Oh, interesting. The guy who made this stairway in Spanish was the same guy who made mine. You know, they were interchangeable back 100 years ago. They would hire the banister guy would come in. He would be one guy. They'd have another guy who did the, such and such. Another guy would do the gables. They had these specialist they had these specialist craftsmen, and then they also had specialist companies. So you'd see the exact same wood or the same, gables or whatever for very different houses. Imagine this entire area with all these houses was built in about a 15-year period. That just takes us back to 2006. Incredible amount of construction that happened at that time. between 1915 and 1929. Must have been just a very exciting place. And Larchmont was just being built. 262 South Arden, 4 beds, 4 baths, almost 4,000 square feet. This is more Larchmont Village, west of Larchmont, south of Beverly, north of 3rd. This is going to be one house off of 3rd, so very, very loud. 8,400 square foot lot, $917 a square foot for 3.5. That's quite a number. It was only on the market for 20 days. Char Penfold. Char, are you with us today? That is a big number. 3.585 in escrow in 2 days. Only 2 houses off of 3rd. Congratulations. Would love to know the backstory on this, because that is not the best location in the world. On top of the fact that it's 3rd, it's also Arden. So that is a very busy intersection. I sold the house right next to it within the last 12 months, 268 South Arden. And that was not an easy sale due to that location. So 3.5 million is incredible. Good job, Shar. Big house, almost 4,000 square feet. There we go. There's the house I sold on the right. And then on the left is this house. So again, tough location to sell. Good job. All right, next slide, or next listing, 359 South Mansfield. So we're back on Mansfield, but now we're in the south section, just north of 6, but very good location as far as quiet. 4 beds, 4 baths, looks relatively new. Yep, 2019, 3,000 square foot on a 67 lot with, that's $884 a square foot. Brand new house, I would expect that. They got they're asking 2.756 on the market for 70 days. Let's take a quick look at this. Obviously, the new modern look, so it's a specific type of buyer. But you're getting a brand new house for 2.7 million on a nice, quieter street with 3,000 plus square feet. That seems like you know, a good buy. $884 a square foot. You're paying over $700 a square foot for a historic house. This is brand new. 842 South Muirfield. This is south of Wilshire in Brookside, and 3 beds, 3 baths, 3,200 square feet, 7,800 square foot lot for 2.4 million. That's $735 a square feet, listed by Amy Davis. We're running up against 12 o'clock, folks. And now we're in the pendings. The pendings mean that they've already been there for a while. So I'm going to cut it short on this one. They did get 2.4 on Muirfield. Muirfield is one of the busier streets there because Waze takes people off of Rimpaw. If you're going south from Wilshire, you normally would go down Rimpaw or Highland. But in this case, because of Waze, a lot of people, if you're at 5 o'clock in the afternoon on Muirfield, it's going to be a line of cars, at least after COVID, before COVID. So 2.4 is a pretty darn good number, and that's with 3,200 square feet. All right, so let's go back to the, and do some general summarizations here. Anybody have any comments? Don't be shy. We won't embarrass you. No comment is a dumb comment. I mean, maybe all the comments were made right up front. Very little inventory. Haven't seen.
Maybe Shar could tell us how her negotiations went, if she feels like it. Maybe we could learn from her experience with selling her listing. Congratulations, Shar, on Arden. Something like that. Shar with us? Oh, she's not with Shar? No.
I asked for her before. I didn't hear anything, so I don't think she's.
Sorry, I missed that, Erik. Okay, sorry for the interruption.
No problem, no problem. Good to hear your voice, Ann. Anybody else?
Nice to hear you too. Thank you.
All right. Well, again, what can we say? 57 listings to choose from. of those, a great deal are over 6 million. Takes us down to 40 or so. And of those, a great deal are on marginal busy streets. Takes us down to about 25. I mean, we're at an incredibly low inventory. If you're a buyer in Hancock Park, the days of having 100 listings to choose from are over. And what's happening nationally, which I'm reading everywhere, is that there's just not enough for sale. So that is, we're now well into the spring. I mean, it's March now. I don't know if anybody's looking to sell. I don't know what they would be waiting for. So, some of the things I'm reading in the news is, why do we have so few listings? Couple of interesting, reasons. One, they say, is that because of COVID, you're not, the little old lady from Pasadena who was gonna otherwise go into a home of some sort, the family doesn't want to move her or him into that because of COVID. So that house is not coming on the market. Meanwhile, so that's one of the reasons maybe people are holding off. I'm not sure. People are, these are big houses, and so what are people looking for right now in the city of LA? They're looking for big houses. Why? Because they're going to be spending a majority of their day probably at home in their new home office. That is COVID related. They're not going to the office as much. And so that need to move is being offset by, the lack of anywhere else to go with a big house. These are some of the biggest houses in LA, and some of the most beautiful. So where would you go? You'd have to be leaving LA. I myself live in a big house and had that, looked around and realized that where I was just fine. So I can see how everybody is also coming up with that. They're not moving somewhere where it's a small house and they have to be outside a lot around other people. Anybody else have any possible reasons why people are not listing their houses?
Me again. Erik, getting back to what I said at the meeting, I think the capital gains is a deterrent. I mean, that's been for a long time. I mean, if you're living in a house for $3 million, that's worth $3 million, and you and your husband have $250 each, $500,000 tax-free off that $3 million. You have to pay capital gains on that $2.5 million. And, that's a big nut to crack, regardless of whether you're going to do an upleg or not. You still have to pay that capital gains. So I think that's preventing people. I think the property tax thing is only helping people that are older, moving from, where you can take your property taxes with you. I also think that during the pandemic, a lot of people had time to spend in their houses and looking around, and they also had time to interview contractors and have things done. And I think after you do things to your house, you kind of look at it, you like it, and you kind of go, something, I don't think I'm going to sell. I think I'm going to stay. I think there's definitely a lot to that too, because the home stores are doing phenomenally well during this pandemic. So people are definitely fixing up.
Yeah, and if you don't have a really good reason to move, why would you do it now?
Right.
Why would you want to risk, unless you've been vaccinated, and maybe even if you've been vaccinated, why would you want to be touring houses and getting out there unless you absolutely have to? We had a large inventory last year. Maybe that was the crowd that absolutely had to, and the rest of us are sticking with it where we are. I don't know. It's fascinating. We are definitely experiencing something on the level of the 2008, 2009 crash, as far as just volatility through the roof, one day to the next, whether it's interest rates, whether it's supply. The one thing that remains constant is the demand, and not being able to keep up with the demand. Anybody who's representing a buyer right now knows how difficult it is. It's 10 offers on anything that's good. You've got to be a very good agent to get them through 10 offers. So it's just a tough business right now that we're in. And anybody who's looking to sell, you want to get that listing, baby. You want to get that listing. That's all I've got. Anybody else?
Thank you, Erik. You're great. Really appreciate it.
And thank you for your input, Ann.
You're welcome.
And invite all of you, step up and speak and make this a more, more interesting conversation as much as you can. I promise we won't make fun of you, and we will be very nice, and we will all say nice. So, think about stepping up and adding your comments. I know you all have opinions, so let's hear them. Until next week, I hope you guys kick some butt, go out there and get some listings. Wish you all the best. Thanks so much.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Erik.
Erik.
Thank you, Erik. Thank
You're the
you.
best.
Hey, everybody.
Thank
Bye,
you.
y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, Cece.
Bye.
Bye-bye. So good to hear from you. See you all. We miss you all. Take